1,000,000 strong, an unstoppable tide of conquest, poised to engulf all of ancient China. Their numbers limitless. Against this titan, a fragile empire stood, its very existence hanging by a thread. An impossible stand. Then, the unthinkable happened. A moment of truth, where panic became a weapon, chaos turned the tide. How could the outnumbered defy destiny? This is the epic story of strategy, courage, and ultimate triumph. The 4th century. China fragmented. To the north, a colossus arose. To the south, a defiant remnant. Between them, a chasm of ambition and fear. A clash was inevitable, its scale unprecedented. For the Eastern Jin, this wasn't just war. It was a fight for survival, for their very identity. Emperor Fujian's former Qin amassed a force unlike any seen, an army numbered at 1,000,000. The sheer scale of this invasion threatened to erase the southern dynasty from history's pages forever. An almost unthinkable scenario. Total annihilation loomed, a destiny seemingly sealed for the Jin. Every option weighed, every grim possibility discussed. The odds were against them, overwhelmingly. The invasion was swift, merciless. Each passing day brought the northern colossus closer to their gates. Yet, at a seemingly ordinary river, Fei River, a different fate awaited the mighty Qin. Here, ingenuity and courage would forge a legend, defying the numerical superiority of the invaders. It wasn't brute force, but strategic brilliance that would unravel the former Qin's colossal ambitions. Their spirit unbroken, their will to resist absolute. The Jin refused to bend, refused to break. How did a vastly outnumbered army not only survive, but achieve one of history's greatest victories? We will unravel the strategies, the deceptions, and the sheer audacity of this epic resistance. Join us as we journey into the heart of this ancient conflict, scene by thrilling scene. The Battle of Fei River is a testament to the power of the human spirit against overwhelming odds. Prepare for an in-depth cinematic journey into one of military history's most epic resistance victories. This is the story of Eastern Jin, an empire that defied destiny and rewrote the rules of war. The 4th century. China, a land once unified, now lay shattered. A canvas of endless conflict and ambition, decades of relentless warfare and political upheaval had plunged the ancient empire into profound disarray. Yet, amidst this crucible of chaos, a formidable new power began to forge itself in the northern lands. This was the former Qin dynasty, a dynamic, multi-ethnic state with a hunger for supremacy. At its heart stood Jian, an emperor of unparalleled ambition, vision, and iron will. Jian ascended to power, swiftly embarking on a path of relentless conquest and strategic consolidation. He sought not just dominion, but genuine unity, integrating diverse northern peoples into his burgeoning empire. Across the northern plains, the former Qin banner rose, signifying a new era of dominance. His armies, a formidable blend of Han and nomadic warriors, crushed all who dared oppose them. Fujian's policies fostered integration, creating a cohesive, powerful force from disparate peoples. Beyond military might, Fujian possessed keen political acumen, centralizing authority and administration effectively. His reign brought stability and infrastructure development, revitalizing a war-weary northern landscape. Under former Qin rule, agriculture flourished, trade routes reopened, and prosperity returned to the north. By the mid-4th century, the north was an undisputed colossus, singularly commanded by Fujian. Yet, his ambitions stretched far beyond the northern borders. He envisioned a truly unified China. This was his life's singular purpose, to bring all lands under the former Qin banner. He believed himself chosen by heaven to restore China's glory, fulfilling an ancient imperial destiny. The stage was set for the ultimate conquest, the subjugation of the Eastern Jin dynasty in the south. To achieve this, immense resources were marshaled, unprecedented in scale, fueling the grand invasion. From every corner of his vast empire, men and material were summoned for the colossal undertaking. A 1,000,000-man army, a living tide of humanity, prepared to sweep southwards, unstoppable. The logistical challenge was monumental. Yet Fujian's administration meticulously planned every detail. His military might was unmatched, a testament to years of strategic building and ruthless efficiency. Political motivations also fueled the invasion, aiming to solidify northern power and crush all dissent. Unification could also consolidate his diverse empire, binding different factions through shared conquest. The overwhelming threat was palpable. Former Qin represented a force of unprecedented scale and power. For the Eastern Jin, sheltered south of the Yangtze, this invasion posed an existential crisis. The strategic context was clear. The Yangtze River became the last, desperate line of defense. All eyes turned to the south, to a decisive battle that would forever alter China's destiny. Fei River awaited, a crucible where the fate of an empire and a dynasty would soon be forged. After the fall of the Western Jin, a new Han Chinese dynasty rose in the south. The Eastern Jin clung to the Yangtze Basin, a beacon of traditional culture amidst northern chaos. This was the Eastern Jin, a precarious but determined bastion, guarding ancient traditions and its very survival. It became the last stronghold for Han Chinese culture, a vital refuge from northern invaders. Here, traditions flourished, art thrived, and a profound sense of enduring identity persisted. While northern dynasties rose and fell, the Jin meticulously preserved the essence of their heritage. Their cultural resilience was profound, a powerful testament to their unwavering will to survive. Yet, even within these sacred walls, relentless political struggles festered, threatening internal stability. Court intrigues and factionalism were constant, a perilous dance for power amongst the elite. Ambitious officials vied for control, often undermining the dynasty's already fragile unity. The emperor's authority was frequently challenged, caught between powerful, competing aristocratic factions. This pervasive internal strife created deep vulnerabilities, a constant threat from within. Dominating the intricate political landscape were a few immensely powerful aristocratic clans. Families like the Xie and Wang wielded immense influence, shaping the Jin's very destiny. Their vast estates and intricate networks made them kingmakers, holding the true power. These clans provided both strength and division, their constant rivalries a double-edged sword. Their influence was undeniable, a complex web of interwoven loyalties and boundless ambitions. Against these internal struggles stood the Eastern Jin army, smaller but remarkably skilled. These were not conscripts, but highly trained professionals, forged by the constant threat of war. Their discipline and expertise were legendary, a testament to their dedicated and rigorous training. Despite their resolve, the Jin's existence remained precarious, ever threatened from the north. From the north, the former Qin dynasty loomed, a colossal, ever-growing shadow of impending invasion. Every year brought new fear, new raids, the constant specter of a full-scale invasion. Yet, deep within them, burned an unyielding determination to resist northern conquest at any cost. They would rather die defending their homeland than surrender to the encroaching northern invaders. This was a desperate, ingrained defiance, a fight for their very existence and identity. Amidst this, a singular figure emerged, Xie An, a statesman of profound wisdom and foresight. His strategic brilliance would become legendary, pivotal in the monumental storm that was coming. The why of their desperate defense was clear: resist former Qin's ruthless hegemonic ambition. This was a struggle for civilization itself, a desperate fight for survival and legacy. The year 383 CE. A storm gathers in the north. Jian, former Qin emperor, prepares his ultimate gamble. Across his vast empire, orders went out. Every corner contributed to the largest army ever seen. From distant steppes and fertile valleys, 1 million souls converged, an unparalleled force in ancient Chinese history. The objective: unite all under heaven, crush Eastern Jin, complete the conquest of China, Fujian's ambition. The northern heartland became a staging ground. Estimates swelled, approaching an unimaginable 1 million soldiers ready for war. The epic march began. A colossal force, 870,000 strong, started its southward advance. Endless columns snaked across the landscape. The earth trembled under the weight of this unprecedented mobilization. Jian's dream powered this invasion. He believed destiny favored him, his million-strong army invincible. Supplying such a host was a monumental undertaking. Logistics became a constant, looming nightmare for commanders. Rivers, mountains, and forests became obstacles. Each day presented new challenges to maintain the vast army's momentum. To behold this force was awe-inspiring. To command it, to move it, tested every logistical genius. 1 million men, stretching for leagues. A living river of conquest flowing relentlessly towards the south. Roads buckled and turned to mud. Supplies often lagged behind, creating dangerous shortages for the vast army. Feeding 1 million mouths daily was monumental. Constant demand stretched resources to their absolute limit. Every grain of rice, every arrow needed tracking. A single misstep could doom the entire campaign. Water became precious, especially through less populated regions. Discipline was vital to prevent chaos among the ranks. The relentless march took its toll. Fatigue set in, yet the command pushed the weary host ever onward. Commanders faced daily dilemmas. How to maintain cohesion, how to sustain such an immense, diverse fighting machine. The very act of movement became a battle. Every mile gained was a victory against logistical collapse. This was no homogeneous army, a mosaic of conquered peoples, each with their own traditions and loyalties. Di, Qiang, Xianbei, Han, Xiongnu, Fujian conscripted them all. Their unity was a precarious illusion. Different languages, different customs, different fighting styles converged. A commander's nightmare or a diverse strength. Fujian, a unifier by force, sought to mold this disparate host into a single, unstoppable spearhead. Beneath the surface of imperial unity, ancient rivalries simmered. Trust among the ranks was not always assured. Integrating these diverse units required immense effort. Training and coordination were constant challenges for officers. Despite complexities, the massive former Qin army pressed south. Its shadow loomed large over the Jin. News of the gargantuan former Qin host struck Eastern Jin. Fear began to grip the court profoundly. Scout reports painted a terrifying picture. An army so vast it blackened the horizon, overwhelming in numbers. Panic spread among the populace. The tales of Fujian's million-man army fueled widespread terror and despair. Faced with annihilation, Eastern Jin prepared for desperate defense. Every able body was called to arms. How could they stop such an overwhelming force? Doubt was a powerful enemy within the Jin ranks. Thousands fled homes, seeking safety from the advancing tide. The south braced for an unprecedented invasion. The storm had gathered. Now it approached. 1 million men, poised to reshape China's very destiny. The Eastern Jin faced an unimaginable foe, a million-strong empire poised to crush their very existence. In the south, Jin's Grand Chancellor Xie An bore the crushing weight of his empire's fate. Against such overwhelming odds, conventional warfare was suicide. A desperate, ingenious plan was their only hope. Jin's defenses were strong yet finite. They could not withstand the Qin's relentless, overwhelming numerical superiority. The river offered a natural barrier, but also a potential pathway for the encroaching former Qin forces. Intelligence was paramount. Understanding the enemy's true nature was the key to unlocking their downfall. Then came Zhu Xu, a former Qin officer. His defection promised priceless insights into their formidable foe. He knew the Qin from within, having witnessed its internal politics and the growing cracks in its foundation. Crossing enemy lines, Zhu Xu risked everything to deliver vital information to the beleaguered Eastern Jin. The interrogations were exhaustive. Jin needed every detail, every weakness, every hidden flaw of the Qin. Zhu Xu confirmed. The Qin's immense size, though daunting, was also its most critical, crippling vulnerability. The logistical nightmare of feeding and equipping 1 million men stretched the Qin's infrastructure to breaking point. Fujian's command was dispersed, his generals diverse, often unwilling. Unity was a dangerous illusion. Internal discord festered among the conscripted tribes. Many held no loyalty to Fu Jian's ambitious dream. Crucially, Zhu Xu warned of Fu Jian's crippling overconfidence, a fatal flaw Jin could exploit. Xie An absorbed the intelligence, a flicker of an audacious idea sparking in his brilliant military mind. They meticulously studied the battlefield, envisioning every maneuver, every potential advantage, every weakness. The Fei River, a natural barrier, became the focal point of their audacious, high-stakes strategic gamble. A bold, audacious idea emerged. Lure the Goliath across the river, then spring a devastating trap. The risks were monumental. Failure meant total annihilation. But the reward, absolute victory, was worth it. The plan: feign a tactical retreat, inviting the former Qin to cross the Fei River and their doom. This wasn't just military strategy, it was psychological warfare, designed to manipulate Fu Jian's pride. They would exploit Fu Jian's boundless overconfidence, using his hubris as the instrument of his downfall. The trap was meticulously crafted, every detail considered, every contingency planned for its deadly execution. The retreat began. Jin forces deliberately pulled back, drawing the Qin closer to the river's embrace. Initial movements were subtle, calculated to convey a sense of Jin's disarray and imminent collapse. Qin observers, seeing the withdrawal, reported Jin's flight, fueling Fu Jian's already inflated ego. The Qin command misinterpreted the strategic withdrawal as a desperate, uncoordinated, last-ditch retreat. Fu Jian swelled with confidence, believing Jin was broken, ready to flee before his mighty, unstoppable army. Meanwhile, Jin's true strength lay concealed, patiently waiting for the former Qin to take the bait. The bait was set. The Fei River lay open, a tempting, seemingly easy path to the Jin capital. Anticipation hung heavy in the air. The colossal former Qin army prepared to cross, unaware of their fate. The audacious gambit's first act had begun. The trap was sprung. The battle for supremacy was imminent. The Fei River, a strategic artery, stood as a silent witness. Two titans poised, destiny hanging in the balance. Fu Jian's former Qin army, 1 million strong, dominated the landscape. An unstoppable tide of imperial might. Across the water, the smaller Eastern Jin force prepared. Their strategy, audacious and desperate, now began. The two empires faced each other, separated by water, brimming with unspoken tension, the calm before the storm. A bold gambit, the Jin sent an envoy, an audacious proposal designed to lure the enemy into a fatal error. Within Fu Rong's tent, the Jin's request arrived, a moment of strategic choice. Pregnant with unforeseen consequences, the Jin demanded withdrawal. They argued for easier passage, masking their true devastating intent with cunning words. Fu Rong deliberated, confident in his overwhelming numbers. He saw an opportunity for a swift, decisive victory. He believed their retreat would simplify the crossing, exposing the Jin, a grave miscalculation of their cunning foe. With a nod, the former Qin commander agreed. He commanded his vast army to withdraw, initiating the trap's first stage. Throughout the massive Qin camp, orders spread. The command: pull back from the river, prepare for new maneuvers. Confusion rippled through the ranks, but discipline held. The great army began its ordered withdrawal, as instructed. Though bewildered, the former Qin legions obeyed. They began to pull back from the riverbanks, their purpose unclear. A colossal cloud of dust obscured the horizon as millions of men shifted. The withdrawal had begun in earnest. What appeared as an orderly retreat was a deliberate tactical choice. Yet, in war, appearances can be fatally deceptive. From across the Fei, Eastern Jin scouts watched every movement. Their eyes, sharp and keen, knew the true meaning. A quiet confidence permeated Jin ranks. The enemy had taken the bait, setting the stage for their audacious counterattack. The Jin generals had foreseen this. Their plan depended on the enemy's overconfidence, now visibly confirmed. Fu Rong watched his army move, utterly convinced of their superiority. Victory seemed within his grasp, an easy conquest. The trap was intricate, subtle. Like a spider's web, it lay hidden, waiting for the unsuspecting colossal prey. On the Jin side, every man stood ready. A single signal would unleash their disciplined, long-awaited counter-offensive. The moment of truth arrived. A sharp, decisive command cut through the tension. The Eastern Jin would now advance. Bugles screamed across the river, a defiant cry of war. The Jin prepared to break the standoff, to strike. No longer waiting, the Jin advanced with resolute purpose. Their smaller numbers belied their iron determination and spirit. The vanguard plunged into the Fei. Water churned, but their advance was relentless, forging a path through the current. Through the river they pushed, a disciplined force. Each step was a defiance, a commitment to their audacious plan. Wave after wave of Jin soldiers entered the water. The river, once a barrier, became their path to destiny. As the Jin surged forward, confusion stirred in the retreating Qin ranks. Something was wrong. The withdrawal felt off. The orderly retreat was turning. A subtle shift in the air, a whisper of alarm, began to spread like wildfire. The gap narrowed, the two forces converging in an unforeseen manner. The battle was about to erupt, violently. Jin's relentless advance met Qin's disorganized withdrawal. The stage was set for an epic, unexpected clash. A single arrow, an ancient declaration. The trap sprung, the counterattack launched. Chaos was about to engulf millions. The Fei River, no longer just a boundary, became the epicenter of an unfolding catastrophe for the former Qin. The Jin knew direct confrontation against overwhelming numbers was futile. Their true weapon would be the mind. A desperate plan hinged on deception, a single critical moment to shatter an empire from within. Jian's million-strong host, a seemingly invincible behemoth, now stood poised on the brink of unforeseen chaos. Under the cloak of twilight, a solitary figure made his way, an instrument of psychological warfare deployed. Blending seamlessly with the vanguard's movement, the Jin agent sought his critical opening, his moment of truth. The initial retreat across the river was already chaotic, providing the perfect breeding ground for panic. Then, a single, piercing scream tore through the night, a voice carrying the death knell of an empire. The lie, potent and insidious, spread like wildfire through the weary, disoriented ranks. Fear took hold. Whispers became shouts. Uncertainty became conviction. The seeds of panic found fertile ground in weary minds. Even commanders struggled, their authority eroding as the false reports of devastating defeat surged around them. Doubt morphed into certainty, and certainty into sheer terror. The tactical retreat became a desperate flight. The fragile discipline of the massive army began to fray. Order dissolved into individual instinct for survival. What was meant to be an organized movement transformed into a stampede, a terrifying crush of humanity. Attempts to restore order were futile, drowned by the rising tide of fear. The great army lost its cohesion. The false alarm had done its work. The psychological cracks in the Qin army became a gaping chasm. The rumor of defeat became reality in the minds of the soldiers, sparking an uncontrollable collapse. The mighty host, once a symbol of power, now appeared a churning, self-destructive vortex of fear. The ground became a graveyard of hopes and men, as the panicked masses trampled their own comrades. All thoughts of battle vanished. Only the primal instinct to survive remained, driving them to flee. The river, meant as a barrier to the Jin, now became an obstacle to their own desperate escape. Seeing the pandemonium, the Jin forces seized their moment. Psychological warfare gave way to brutal pursuit. Arrows rained down, adding to the terror, turning the rout into a relentless, bloody slaughter. The Jin vanguard, sensing total victory, charged without mercy, cutting down all who stood in their path. The once mighty Qin army was no more, just a broken, terrified horde pursued by the relentless Jin. The waters of the Fei River became a watery grave, swallowing thousands of men in their desperate flight. Life ebbed away in the dark currents, a tragic end for soldiers caught in the maelstrom of panic. The Fei River, now a testament to collapse, bore witness to the catastrophic failure of Fujian's ambitions. The Emperor Fujian watched in agony as his grand army, his life's ambition, dissolved before his eyes. His voice lost in the chaos, his authority gone, the once feared ruler could only watch the unfolding disaster. The architect of a unified empire now faced utter humiliation, his legacy shattered on the riverbanks. Amidst the chaos, Fu Rong fought valiantly, a beacon of resistance in a sea of despair and flight. But even his courage could not stem the tide. Fu Rong fell, a final tragic casualty of the rout. The Battle of Fei River was over. The Eastern Jin had defied all odds, securing an improbable legendary victory. The Battle of Fei River was over. What remained was a tide of desperate, broken men, fleeing for their lives. The former Qin army suffered catastrophic losses. An estimated 70–80% of its million-strong force annihilated. Many fell to the blade, caught in the devastating rout. The sheer scale of the slaughter was unimaginable. Beyond the battle, starvation became a relentless killer. Supplies vanished, leaving soldiers to perish from hunger. The relentless, cold and unforgiving terrain claimed countless more. Exposure proved a silent, brutal victor over the fleeing. Jian, once supreme, now saw his grand vision shattered. His dream of unified China lay in ruins. The foundation of his vast empire, built on diverse tribes, proved brittle. Fei River shattered its fragile unity. News of the defeat spread like wildfire. Dissident lords and ethnic groups saw their chance for freedom. Across the vast domain, revolts erupted. Fujian's authority vanished, replaced by widespread defiance and chaos. The empire's rapid disintegration began. What took decades to build collapsed in a terrifying, irreversible cascade. Regions once loyal declared independence. The political map of northern China was being redrawn by force. Retreating to Chang'an, Fujian faced internal rebellion. His once unquestioned rule was now a hollow facade. The north plunged into renewed conflict. The power vacuum left by former Qin birthed many new, hungry states. Eastern Jin watched, secure in the south. Their strategic victory had reshaped China's destiny forever. Fei River underscored a profound truth. Immense military power is fragile when confronted by superior strategy. Fujian's vision for a unified empire under his rule was irrevocably shattered. A grand era concluded. From the ashes of former Qin, ambitious new warlords and dynasties emerged, vying for regional dominance. Ethnic tensions, suppressed under Fujian, exploded. His multi-ethnic empire tore itself apart with brutal speed. The Battle of Fei River became a historical watershed, marking the catastrophic failure of a massive invasion. China's political map was profoundly reshaped. The north remained fragmented, delaying true reunification for centuries. Eastern Jin's victory, born of cunning and determination, secured their borders and defied overwhelming odds. Fujian's personal fate mirrored his empire's collapse. He would eventually fall victim to rebellion. The echoes of Fei River resonated for generations. It stands as a testament to strategic brilliance and imperial fragility. Centuries later, the echoes of Fei River still resonate. It was more than a battle, it was a turning point. The invasion threatened total annihilation. Fei River's victory preserved the Eastern Jin dynasty from utter collapse. This survival ensured the continuation of a sovereign Han Chinese state, a beacon in tumultuous times. The dynasty, on the brink, found renewed vigor. Fei River forged its resilience, securing its future existence. For centuries, the South remained a stronghold of Han rule, directly owing its endurance to this pivotal clash. Northern China faced profound cultural shifts. Fei River guaranteed the survival of southern Han Chinese culture. Priceless traditions, philosophies, and artistry flourished in the south, shielded from northern assimilation efforts. The battle acted as a cultural bulwark, protecting a distinct identity and ensuring its vibrant legacy. Southern culture blossomed, nurturing poets, artists, and thinkers whose works enriched all of China. Fei River secured a profound heritage. It ensured that unique Han identity would endure for future generations. The battle was a masterclass in strategy. Jin generals demonstrated brilliant tactical superiority against overwhelming odds. Utilizing terrain, intelligence, and deception, they turned numerical disadvantage into a strategic advantage. The smaller Jin force outmaneuvered a million-strong army, a testament to astute planning and execution. Calculated risks, rapid assessments, and bold moves defined Jin's strategic brilliance. They seized every opportunity. It highlighted the critical importance of disciplined command and swift decision-making under immense pressure. Beyond steel and blood, psychological warfare played a pivotal role. The Jin mastered its subtle art. Fujian's overconfidence became his downfall. The Jin exploited his hubris, sowing seeds of doubt. The wind and crane incident is legendary. Panic spread like wildfire, amplifying the Jin's advantage. By shattering enemy morale, the Jin transformed a retreating force into a rooting, broken army. The enduring lesson, the formidable power of unity. The Jin army, though outnumbered, stood as one. Facing seemingly insurmountable odds, their collective will and shared purpose became an unbreakable shield. This victory proved that cohesion and morale can overcome sheer numbers, inspiring hope against tyranny. Fei River remains one of China's most celebrated triumphs, a timeless testament to courage, unity, and strategic genius. The Battle of Fei River, more than a victory, forged an enduring legacy, echoing through centuries of Chinese history. It stands as a powerful testament to the unyielding will of a people defending their homeland and culture. What unfolded was a masterclass in strategic brilliance, outwitting a colossal foe with audacious, calculated maneuvers. Their courage, unwavering in the face of overwhelming numbers, defined a moment of pure, unadulterated heroism. The spirit of resistance against impossible odds shone brightest, inspiring generations with its indomitable light. This epic clash offers profound takeaways: the power of unity, leadership, and cunning against sheer might. From the swirling chaos of Fei River emerged a legend, forever etched in the annals of military lore. Its lasting impact reshaped the very course of Chinese history, preserving a culture from absorption. This incredible journey through history now reaches its conclusion, but our quest for knowledge continues. If you found this cinematic exploration captivating, please show your support by hitting that like button. Share this epic story with fellow history enthusiasts, and let the legacy of Fei River reach wider audiences. Don't miss future cinematic journeys. Subscribe now and join our community for more military history. Become part of our growing community, where we delve deep into the strategic minds of the past. Together, we will continue to explore the greatest untold stories and forgotten heroes of history.